You said all bets were off, Kara, and you were right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you never know what Elon's going to do, right? And in this case, there could be one of two things. He could be trying to sell his shares and using this as cover, that I tried to do it. Obviously, Wall Street's sort of thinking that with the price not really rising that much, it's stayed pretty flat. So if he's offering 54.20, which is a weed joke, he also, besides being an offer and making it his best and final offer, that could be the case. The other case is he wants to buy it. Very difficult. It's very expensive, even for the world's richest man. And as I noted before with you the other night, to get this money, he's going to have to do with his Twitter shares or find a lot of rich friends. And economically, it's problematic given Twitter's business history. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I think he means it, but doesn't mean it. I don't know how else to say that. I sound so equivocal, but that's the way it is with Elon.
Yeah, you can see shares now below yesterday's high, down about 0.5% on the day. You have said that Apple probably not interested, but that Benioff has kicked the tires before. I mean, what's your sense about other parties?
I don't know. I think it's a low price for what Twitter should be, right? But it isn't. So he's making kind of a lowball offer because it was up in 77 in last February and even higher for a lot of the year, and then it declined until he came back and made it go up again. So if you think of this as one of the few independent sites on the internet which is high profile, not that big, not a great business, it's one of the few you can pick up for under $50 billion. That might be valuable to a bigger company. That said, it comes with all kinds of hooks, including what to do about Trump and, of course, Elon, its biggest shareholders. And so a lot of companies, I got a lot of responses from big companies like, staying away from this one. Like, no way. Hedge funds and private equity people might see some value here. I'm not sure. It's a lot of money. It's a big bet.
Kara, 9 days ago, Jack Dorsey tweeted, "I'm really happy Elon is joining the Twitter board. He cares deeply about our world and Twitter's role in it. Parag and Elon both lead with their hearts, and they will be an incredible team." Yeah. That last part hasn't aged well, but what strikes me about this is Twitter's a company with many founders who at one time were fighting for influence, and none of them seem to care about it anymore. They're letting this other guy just kind of stroll in and jerk the company around. Michael Dell, Steve Jobs certainly didn't let this happen when their companies were in trouble. What does that say about Twitter and this moment?
Well, they did for a little while, right? You don't know what's going on. Actually, interestingly, we just taped a Pivot episode, and Scott Galloway had a great ideas. Why doesn't Elon go at this with a DAO in some way? He has so many fans. He could raise the money pretty easily. As Scott says, every dentist in the world would want to be investing with Elon Musk kind of thing, even if it's not economic. But I don't know. They've moved on to other things, right? They've moved on to other things. And Twitter's a really hard thing to manage. The one thing I'd agree with Elon on is it should be a private company. I've been saying that for years. It can't do what it needs to do as a public company. And that doesn't matter that it should be a free platform, free speech platform, or it should have a subscription, which I think it should. So he's right essentially about the problems of changing it. I just don't know if he can afford it. It'll be interesting to see, or if this is just a way to sell his shares at a profit. I don't know.
Yes. Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, also had an interesting Twitter thread on what a decentralized Twitter might look like, how they could monetize that, sort of this Web3 play. Kara, though, I wonder who might actually benefit from owning Twitter. Certainly Elon Musk has had a lot of benefit from his tweets, considering that his advertising budget for Tesla has been nothing. But is there another company that could really harness the influence of Twitter to its advantage, whether that be in big tech or media or something that we are not thinking of? I'm thinking back to Oracle and TikTok. No one saw that coming.
Maybe some of these digital finance companies. I think Sam Bankman-Fried, for example. I mean, it could be very valuable to a lot of people who have kind of crazy money, where the stock is out of whack with where it is. If you're a big company, like if you're Apple, no way are you touching this thing. Like, why would you? And plus, you have to deal with Elon and Trump. No, thank you. Mark Benioff, I tweeted him. He just sent me a smiley emoji. That's all I got back from him. I think it's expensive and a big bet on something that still hasn't proven itself as a business. But you could see some of these finance people doing that and doing it in a different way. This decentralized idea was pushed by Jack Dorsey and Parag. I do think as a private company, it makes a lot more sense. It's out of the limelight in terms of public attention and scrutiny. At the same time, it's for a lot of, I think even if these rich people, especially on the more right side of tech, complain about Twitter or whoever complains. Losing money is another thing. I think they like money more than going on about free speech. And so we'll see. We'll see.